The Battle of Hattin, fought on July 4th, 1187 CE, was one of the most significant battles of the medieval era. It took place near the village of Hattin in modern-day Israel, between the forces of the Crusader Kingdom of Jerusalem and the army of Sultan Saladin. This decisive victory for Saladin not only shattered the Crusader forces, but also marked the beginning of the end for Christian control over the Holy Land. By the late 12th century, tensions between the Crusaders and the Muslim states of the Middle East were at a breaking point. Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, had united the Muslim world and was determined to recapture Jerusalem, which had been in Crusader hands since the First Crusade in 1099. The Crusaders, despite holding many key cities and castles, were politically fragmented. Their ability to defend the Holy Land was weakening due to internal divisions and strained alliances. The Battle of Hattin became a turning point in this struggle. It not only decimated the Crusader army, but also set the stage for the fall of Jerusalem and much of the Crusader-held territories. The Crusaders assembled a large army of around 15,000 troops, including about 1,200 heavily armored knights, the elite of their military forces. They were led by Guy of Lusignan, the king of Jerusalem, and Raymond of Tripoli, along with several other prominent nobles. Despite their formidable cavalry, the Crusader forces were plagued by internal conflicts and a lack of strategic coordination. Saladin's army was larger and well-organized, consisting of around 20,000 soldiers, including cavalry, infantry, and archers. The Muslim forces were more unified, disciplined, and better adapted to the harsh desert conditions where the battle would be fought. The battle was triggered when the Crusaders decided to march from their stronghold at Tiberias to confront Saladin's forces near Hattin. They embarked on a long march across the arid plains of Galilee, with limited access to water. Saladin had intentionally chosen this location, knowing the Crusaders would struggle under the scorching sun and lack of water. As the Crusaders marched, Saladin's forces harassed them, with hit-and-run attacks using archers and light cavalry, wearing down the Crusaders and preventing them from reaching the Sea of Galilee, where they hoped to find water. The Crusader knights were unable to charge effectively in the desert terrain, and their forces became increasingly disorganized. The battle reached its climax near a volcanic formation known as the Horns of Hattin, two large hills overlooking the battlefield. The Crusaders made their final stand here, exhausted, dehydrated, and surrounded. Saladin's forces set fire to the dry grass surrounding the Crusader encampment, further disorienting and suffocating the Christian soldiers. Saladin's troops gradually tightened the noose around the Crusaders, launching wave after wave of attacks. The exhausted Crusaders were unable to mount an effective defense. Raymond of Tripoli and a small contingent of knights managed to escape. But the majority of the Crusader forces, including King Guy of Lusignan, were either killed or captured. One of the most significant events of the battle was the capture of the True Cross, a revered Christian relic believed to be part of the cross on which Jesus was crucified. This symbolic loss was a devastating blow to Christian morale and further cemented the Muslim victory. The Battle of Hattin was a catastrophe for the Crusaders. Their once formidable army was effectively wiped out, with thousands killed and many prominent leaders, including Guy of Lusignan, captured. The loss of so many knights severely weakened the Crusader state's ability to defend themselves. Following his victory at Hattin, Saladin quickly moved to capture key Crusader cities, including Acre, Nablus, and Jaffa.